All right, Jerry, why don't you go ahead and give us your update?
Yeah. So I was kind of catching up on some stuff I've been saying I was going to do, like a meeting with Amine on getting that chat admin added. I think there are some couple display issues, but I can't really tell because I don't have a build. So I would like Amine to get out a QA build with that chat admin link and potentially get Ayad involved in it and have him go through it and work with the interface and make changes to it because we never got a chance to do this on a full end-to-end flow. So I would we have
Yeah.
we have it working. We have the link working.
Yeah. How? Okay. So is it ready? It's ready to test now.
Well,
Um,
we need a build out of the app that has this button.
okay. Okay. That shouldn't be hard.
Yeah, it's a very, very, very small change, unless it says differently. Yeah, there
No
you go.
Okay.
Alright, it is. Let me showcase that. So for now, we're having it as like this: manage group. If you press on a manage group, you'll be taken to this review that's going to be loading. And there's one small change that we need before doing the build. Jerry, is like the back button. I need that post message. Otherwise, the user would not be able to go back. Like it will
Mm,
be stuck in here because
mm. We using a back button. I mean, on the reward store web view. If there, I don't know if that code is
the
transferable.
thing is, no. The thing is, like the web view, the URL that sends me, it already has a back button in it.
Mm.
Mm,
I know.
This is
Yeah, I know what it means asking for. We
I
have
got
to put it in because yeah, he said like basically the app is stuck in a state, and that's because it's a web view, and like the way that a web view interacts with the app is it sends like encoded messages as like events. And what Amin is saying, he wants to listen for an event that has back, so he knows to close that web view when it's pressed.
Gotcha. Okay. So that you'll sort out with the back button. Cool. Then what else?
Okay. Also got with Wells on the.
Well,
Uh,
wait. Let's stick
oh,
with this for a minute here. So this looks really incomplete.
mhm.
What else is going on here?
That is what I need to get with Ayad with.
Okay, so the whole admin portal AOD built that's not this.
No, that is this. It should be.
Okay,
So
where hmm, isn't there? Aren't we missing features here like functions?
that's why I need to see if there is some feature. So
Yeah, I mean, it's not matching the design here. So,
Y-
as far as like what it was showing. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And are
it'll
we
be
calling
updated.
it
It'll look prettier.
right? And then I mean, there's like not very many options. There's no options really.
this is
Yeah.
one of my first times seeing this actually like in the app with
Yeah.
whatever it is
This is
from.
a web view. This is IOD's web view. Amin didn't build this, right?
Correct. This is all the web view.
This is what IOD built.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm thinking, Shawntelle, this doesn't look anything like what you designed.
Right.
Oh, something's missing
Yeah,
somewhere.
there's a lot missing here.
Yeah.
Okay. But IOD and I think Ian and IOD thought they were pretty much done with this, unless I'm
I
mistaken.
think
I know
that
that's what I recall. So maybe there's a flag that has to be turned on to enable it, but yeah, I need to get with them and ideally I want him to have a build of the app so he can see what it actually looks like and works like on a phone.
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Shawntelle,
and I can
maybe
always reach out too and kind of make sure we're all on the same page because yes, this isn't exactly what I designed by any means. It's missing a lot of stuff. So
yeah.
yeah, I'll work with them.
Okay, yeah. Reach out to IOD and make sure he has the Figma designs and everything. Okay, because I mean your work stops here, right? Like you basically just connect this, right?
yes.
Mm,
Yeah, and he just wants the event that says go back so he can close
gotcha.
it without having to close out the app.
Right. So yeah, you're stuck basically. Okay. Um, Are we calling it manage org or like
No,
add?
no.
Okay, that's something
It's gonna
I
be
put up.
a group.
Yeah, this is
Right.
what you see here is the web view.
I know. I just was wondering if Shawntelle had named it that or IOD.
Mhm.
No,
And-
that's gonna there's gonna eventually, like in the long term, be a manage org thing that's gonna have a lot more features, but he's got another version that says manage group that's more simplified, which was the one that we'd initially went over. So
Okay.
I'm gonna follow up and make sure that he's working on the right one.
Good. Okay. Let me know how that goes.
Yeah.
All right. So how do we access this again? Oh yeah, that was in the members
Mhm.
thing. Okay. All right. I think I had another question, but I don't remember now. So what else were you saying there, Jerry?
No, that was it. Kind of what I worked with Amine on this, and then I also had time working with Wells. Well, I was going back and forth with him about the pagination that we need on the check-in search.
Mhm.
So I was just in between tasks, kind of sending him messages on that.
Okay.
Yep. I did not get the chance to deploy. I know you wanted to hold off on deploying the new data loader to production, which I think
Mhm.
28 is pointing to production. So it doesn't do anything to check it. Like I said, I can roll it back if there's an issue, but I want to know if it's all right to push that up into production.
Well, let's test it in QA first.
Yeah. Well, I think the newest QA build is 25.
28.
28, I think, points to prod.
Ismail, did you point 28 to production or QA yesterday?
Production, because we said we wanted to get a build out.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was thinking we would do a QA build first, and then go do a production build. But that's okay. Okay. Is it also available on Android?
It is, yes.
Okay. So Todd and Shawntelle, you guys should get
Yeah.
build 28 and
On it.
let's okay.
Okay, cool.
And
Mhm.
also had a chat with Shawntelle about the Friend Connect.
Okay.
It looks like the day before done, we had made a change to there was something with the grouping for the items in Friend Connect. It was earlier this week, and what it did is it eliminated one of the priority filters we had, which was your circle of trust, and it wasn't giving extra weight to the circle of trust, and that's why Shawntelle was saying that all her matches were not completely appropriate. One reason being, so of the users that remember yesterday, she said she had about 6 or 7 people who she got into circles.
Yep.
And only like 2 of them allowed contacts, and this was a very interesting case too because she said a lot of these people in this group communicate exclusively on Facebook or Discord, and a lot of them do not have each other's phone numbers despite hanging out in person and going to
Right.
book club. So it was a very odd case that it was like, okay, well, they didn't allow contacts, and the one that did allow contacts didn't have each other in their contacts, so we weren't able to really make good connections. And
Mhm.
had they allowed contacts, there were some that Shawntelle was confident that they would have others in the contacts, and it just took that one person allowing contacts to really fix the whole query and give it strong contacts. Even while there was an issue prioritizing the SOT. But when we
Mhm.
added the SOT prioritization back, Shawntelle, um, there is somebody who is in her circle of trust that she says, "Oh, I can, you know, yeah, they know Emmy, and I can say yes to Emmy for all these people that are joining." And then Emmy has a lot of people in her contacts. And when we ran the friend connect for Emmy, like they were all really strong matches because it like took that user's contacts and it took Emmy's contacts and friends. And yeah, Shawntelle was like, yeah, this is like a red hot list. But it like took her referring them to Emmy, and then once Emmy started the friend connect, you would get those strong results.
Now, would that have happened organically, or you're saying there was some intervention that caused it to work out, or would it
No,
have actually happened?
It probably would have worked out organically in a way because, like I was telling Jerry, out of all these people, they're from basically two groups. But my friend Emmy, she's my best friend, so she's a part of both groups. So, but the majority of the people and circles that she's connected with are the people from those two groups. I think it will maybe get a little bit more complicated because she's been inviting people outside of that group into circles. Like she's got some of her family members now, and she just got a couple of friends in yesterday who aren't part of that group. So I don't know how that might end up muddying the waters because that's kind of the issue that I'm facing. Is like I've got the circles group and investors and the circles team. So that's like one circle, and then there's my circle, which is all my family. And then I have these two groups, but because the stronger connection is with people in my family who all have their phone numbers and contacts, and then people with circles, we all have each other's phone numbers and a lot of like people that are following us, a lot of friends. So those two are getting prioritized more than these other two groups where people just don't have each other's contacts. So it's not weighted as highly unless it's through my circle of trust, which is the majority of the people in there are from one of those two groups.
Yeah, and so Jerry, you were saying we weren't putting any weight on the circle trust up
Well,
until
there
yesterday.
was a change I made. It was either Monday or Tuesday that did not consider that circle of trust weight
Mhm.
because it was there before.
It
But
was.
yeah, but then when he added it back, that's where Shawntelle was like, okay, yeah. And like she was saying that even though these users didn't allow contacts and like nobody had them in their contacts, she would be able to connect them with at least one person that was in her circle of trust.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So when you reran it, Jerry, did it look right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Shawntelle, I sent her the
Yeah.
list. Yeah, we were on a call probably for 30 minutes an hour.
Good,
Yeah.
Okay. So now is that live in production?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
went through the hypotheticals like we ran friend connect, so that's where she was saying, okay, well, what if I say Emmy knows this person? What would
Mhm.
Emmy's friend connect look like? And we pulled up Emmy's and she was like, yes, 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 yes. And she's like out of 15 people, I would only click no on about 2.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That's what
It
we
was
want.
perfect.
Great.
Yeah. There was one person that I'm like, ah, dang, I wish that person was up on the list because that person is like good friends with another person in the app. And I don't know that she knows that the good friend is in the app, which then would have connected their own smaller friend circle a little bit. So that was like one key person that was a missed opportunity. But I think the others, the since the majority of everything else worked out, I think eventually they'll end up finding each other because again, we're all part of the same group. But
Yeah, and then
I'd
once
say,
like that person gets in someone's circle of trust, yeah, it'll end up
yeah,
making the
yeah.
connection.
So I think that eventually it would be 100% perfect with that, the way that ended up setting up. And Emmy's great with doing the friend connect too. So it's not like she's like, whatever. Like she's pretty active with that.
Okay,
Like I said,
excellent.
she's getting her family and other friends in it too.
Excellent. All right. Okay, so that's good. That's good. I'm glad you guys got that sorted out. Thank you. Was there more, Jerry, that you were working on?
I was working on just some logs I was seeing with some sentry logs, like some case handling logs that had to be fixed. But I am seeing something about like the books, and I'm thinking that Google Books is changing. Google Books is like changing the book IDs on certain books, and that's causing them not to be found.
Hmm.
So I think we need a safe way of handling it in that case. If you have any suggestions on what we should do.
Why would that have anything to do? Like, was this not the very first time that book had been searched or something?
It may have been a book that, let me grab that book ID, but it was a book that was favorited, like it was showing up in like the recent check-ins and favorites for a user.
I see.
And the only user I think who's running into it yet, the only user that's running into it right now is Ralph Ferguson, because he has everybody's like information on it.
Okay.
So there's like a book that somebody must have favorited a long time ago, that when you look up that book in Google Books, it doesn't exist, but it exists under a different ID.
Okay.
So it changed. I don't think that happens often.
Is it causing a breakage somewhere?
It that might be what had caused a white screen before. Shawntelle, I think, did you say that he reported a white screen or something on the books? Because this is something
Sorry,
I'm,
I was on mute. Yes.
yeah.
And then we fixed something, and he wasn't having that issue.
Mhm.
It was just he wasn't getting search results, which that was the other thing we.
Yeah, the search results we addressed like Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's solved.
Yeah.
Kind of.
There's still the case of when a book returns 404, we don't have all the information. Like we have is the name, but we don't have anything like a synopsis, an author. All we have is a name and what was the Google Books ID.
All right. So what's our solution?
That's what I'm asking, how we want to approach it. Do we just want to show like a different display showing that this book is no longer available in Google Books?
Yeah, perhaps. If
Okay.
why would it not be available? You said they just changed the ID. Why don't we just get the new ID?
How can I be sure?
Uh,
Because I only have the name and I have the old ID.
well, doesn't their API have some type of um, communication to tell you when? Like, isn't that same thing with like Google Places IDs? They change sometimes. There's a mechanism, right, for us to be updated.
I'll look into it. I didn't see anything
There's got to be.
more, but I did not see anything that was a clear giveaway, because it would just be like, oh, this doesn't exist.
Yeah, no, I think there's got to be some kind of way to update us.
Mhm.
You know, so yeah, take another look at that, and let's.
Well, what if it's possible that a book got delisted off of Google Books?
I think it's possible, but it's certainly not a popular book. That sounds really unlikely.
Mhm. But if it did, what if it did get delisted? What would we do?
Then it would be not available anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to blanket cover in case in case that's not really what's happening. It's maybe we're mistaken.
Yeah,
you
it's
know.
it's only one book.
A popular book though, right?
No, these are two different scenarios. The popular book was from the search results.
Okay.
Uh, the book was something about. Let me try to run this query for him. The other issue is about a book that somebody checked into that Ralph Ferguson follows, and that book is no longer available in the Google Books API.
Okay.
So I'm not saying it's a popular book. It might not.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do to handle that, but also make sure we're not letting the IDs change and us not being updated on them.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Check-ins from active users. 1 sec. I can get that book very quickly. Give me a sec. I'll just get that for you, and then we can move on after that. Come on. Mhm. There's enough like this. That's right. And then number 8, check-ins of active users. Number 8, 2, 3, 4, 7, 8. And then this was a book. Juan Martinez. He favored a book. Haunted. Let's see. Check-ins 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. Invisible Monsters. That's the name of the book.
Okay.
And I found that it has a different book ID.
Yeah, investigate that further. Let's figure out what's going on. Why did it change, and do others change, and how do we stay updated and things like that.
Yep. All right. And
Okay.
work
I
with me,
wanna-
and we'll work on that SMS thing too when you have time. But that's
Yeah.
fine now.
Yeah, I wanna tweak that a little bit too.
Mhm.
Um, and I want a link that we have tracking on.
Okay. Got it.
Really, for any links, anything we're doing,
Mhm.
we have that should be the first priority. Making sure we have robust tracking so we can properly analyze the results.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So anything else you want to add?
No, I'll just be working on that tracking too.
Okay. Sound good. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So Ismail, let's get your update, please.
Sure. So I started off my day yesterday, trying to get the build ready. So I merged in um that the new share buttons when you click on a card or from a user profile. You see the new UI now with and some of them we added some functionality. Um, After that, I had a work session with Wells where we went over the cards. I showed him the old cards that we have, the new cards, and what the plan is basically to eventually switch over and use all our cards should be using the new ones, our new structure. Um, After that, I went to Legend List, started testing it out. So implementing it in Discovery feed and the user activity feed was fine. It was fairly quick, smooth, ran it, everything worked well. I don't know if it will help with you know, the recent flickering, not flickering, but I should say, the jerkiness of the scroll with the iOS 18. So I guess we'll only know after we have a build out. Because on the simulator, it can't really tell. I don't think we have enough refresh rates. Where on a phone, more noticeable. Um, but the thing is, when it came to chat, on the other hand, um, I'm not sure if we can use it in chat. So first challenge I had with chat was we are using a flash list that's from the Showtime library. So Amin is aware of this as well. What that means is it is flash list. It's just it's kind of a special file list where they just add a few things to it to make it compatible with the Showtime library, and that's what we're using to switch between topics. So the legend list, which is a new one we talked about yesterday. You can't import that from that library, if that makes sense.
I see.
So in order for us to get it to work, we would have to somehow figure out what's special about their flash list and if we can somehow mimic it in this legend list. Now that was the first part. Second part is um, it wasn't as robust as flash list when it came to implementing it. So when I'm scrolling through chat specifically, so when the height of the items is similar or close, like for example discovery feed or the user feed, it worked pretty well. But in chat where the size changes a lot, it there's a lot of times where I'm scrolling fast and I just see a white screen. It takes a minute to load them, and it loads. They're out of order, and then they organize themselves real quick.
Mm.
It wasn't a nice experience. Just it's like I'm pretty sure I implemented it properly,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I felt like Flashes was a lot more stable. Is one way to put it. It was like it handled those like dynamic item sizes because of a chat is gonna be dynamic. Like each you don't know how long the message is gonna be. If they're gonna send a picture, if they're gonna send a paragraph, they're gonna send one line of text. So I feel like Flash just handled that a whole lot better. Um, One more thing is that it doesn't support inverted lists. So you know how our chat it's a list but it's inverted because you have to scroll up to get the content, not down.
I see. Yeah. Okay. It doesn't do
So
that.
it doesn't support that. They say, oh, we have their like they kind of added three props and they say if you set it in this way, it should give you the same behavior as an
Mm-hmm.
invert. They're saying that this could probably even fix some invert downsides. But when I tried doing it, it didn't work. I
Mm-hmm.
followed their instructions on to the dot,
Okay.
and I didn't see it basically invert. Yeah, go ahead. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't support invert because it has it baked in. You don't have to do it yourself to do invert and all of that. It's all baked in the library. It supports chat list types. So I'm not sure if
correct.
you looked in their examples.
I
Like we
did.
have
I did. That's
okay.
that's exactly what I followed. They had like a chat section there in their
Mm-hmm.
documentation, which I try to
No, no,
implement.
no. The GitHub repo, their GitHub repo, they have like an example project of the
Hmm.
chat. It has a lot of things going on there.
Mm. Yeah, that one I didn't check. I was looking mainly at their official documentation on their website, which they had a chat section there, and it tells you if you want to achieve something similar to an invert, these are steps you need to take, which I followed. Um, but it didn't flip the list. Like it was still you had to scroll down to get the
Because
new content.
also you should keep in mind we're doing some work ourselves to to make it work with the invert. So you have to delete all of that code to
Mm,
have it work.
yeah, there could be that. But that being said, there's still you know, major problem of before we go through all that work is that you remember how we have a tab flash list? We're not using
Yeah.
like a regular.
And for that, if you look inside the tab flash list, what it does, it just append the padding. So we can do ourselves a tab legend list, for example. It's not the tab flash list like the source code of it, like we
Mm-hmm.
have it there. It's ours.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and if you look into that code, what it does is just append some side into the content container side. So we can do that
Correct. It
ourselves.
has that padding. So we have that code you said. We can just change it to the legend list, and it should be
Yeah, you
fine.
can. Yeah, yeah. I don't think there's something special there.
Okay.
And this is
Okay.
we're just talking about the inverted scroll, or because you reported a few problems.
Yeah, no, this is the one where I was saying we were using I was saying we were using the flash list from the Showtime library. So
Yeah.
if we want to do it the legend list, we have to take that code and implement it there to make sure it gives us the same behavior. And it's mainly to avoid the section part, so it doesn't scroll. The content doesn't scroll under it. It like stops there. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's mainly a padding that we have to do. So
What
that
about
was just one thing, but yeah, mainly yeah. So like yesterday, like I said, I followed one of their examples that they had on their official website.
yeah,
It didn't work as I expected. I mean, saying there's another example that they have on their GitHub repository, which I haven't looked at that yet. So I can try doing some more investigating there to see if I can get it to work. But overall, I mean, I just wanted to show you real quick, like not now, obviously, when we have some time. When scrolling through it, I saw a lot of like it was laggy, not laggy, like the everything would disappear and then it would come up and there was some flickering going on. So it I guess what I'm trying to say is it didn't work like out of the box like it did with discovery feed and user feed. Um, so we might have to do some more optimization there to get it to work properly. But also the main reason we switched over was for the maintaining the content view where it doesn't move the list up
did
when
that work?
when we get new list items
Did
or
that
we get
work?
new items. Yeah. So the way they have it implemented is weird. I in the well, at least in their documentation, when I was looking at the prop. So in the original flat list, like the React Native flat list, you pass in like a prop and then you pass in an object. Where this one they have it in form of a boolean, basically. But no matter what I pass to it, it always keeps it marked as red, as if like it doesn't like it, even though I'm following, what they're telling me to do. And it did not do that behavior where it kept everything on the screen. It still did the whole going up when you get a new message. So that was my kind of spending a few hours on it yesterday, playing with it, trying a few things. Those are the problems I ran into. Uh, Now I'm not saying it's we can't use it, but what I'm saying is that probably I need to look into it more. And if Amin has any examples, like good examples that he found for us to reference, that would also help. But yeah, that was my intake. It worked great for discovery and user feed, but chat there's still quite a bit of kind of work to do to get it to know if it's gonna work properly or not. But before all that, I mean, like I said, I want to kind of because the main purpose was for that maintaining the visual like or your scroll position, which I can't seem to get to work even with the list not inverted. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. Maybe because we're pushing the data maybe at the top because we have an inverted list. So one thing I want to try is maybe pushing it to the end of the list and maybe see if that helps at all. Because I'm assuming if that maintaining position doesn't work as we expected, we do we still want to kind of switch over? Because I feel like maybe that's the first thing I should maybe spend more time on. Mm, I guess
Well,
what do you guys think?
can you show me what you have so far?
Well, I reverted it, but it was really nothing to show. Like it's so far like what I tested yesterday was a mess, basically.
Yeah.
I mean, I can show you the discovery feed that you won't notice any difference. You'll just also scroll and it will work. Like at the simulator, you won't notice anything.
Did you
As
put it on
far,
a device?
huh?
Did you put it on a device?
Well, I have to create a build for that, so not yet. No.
Okay, because you don't know then if we were to scroll it on a device if it would reduce that jittery.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We wouldn't know unless we try it on a real device,
But
which
you
we
also had
can.
problems with the tabs.
What's that?
You had problems with the tabs.
The only problem is with the chat. As far as discovery and user and the other list, the user feed, that's ready to go.
Really, even with the tabs on the activity, user activity.
Well, that's not using a special list there. It's just using a regular list. Like,
It's using the Showtime tabs, right?
mm, I don't think that one is. Let me see.
That's where we do use it.
I saw problems on the other side.
I
أصلا
mean,
خرج شوية.
were you gonna say something to me?
Ah, sorry, I was not talking.
So what were you saying, Ismail?
Yeah, I was gonna say on the user feed. Let me see how it would look. Give me a second here. So on the one for the user feed, it it just needs a padding basically. That's all. Like it just needs a little bit of padding on the top, and then that's everything else is working fine.
Okay, and all the
So
tabs are fine.
yeah, everything is working fine. It's just so it goes back to that same problem with the because yeah, it is using the tab view, but basically the main purpose of that tab view, I guess, is the padding. It looks like nothing else because everything else is working fine.
Okay,
Here I can show
yeah, let's see.
you real quick.
Get on
Like
a device too.
you have to stay on the device to really notice, but on my simulator, this is how it looks like. So basically, this is on discovery. Just sharing. There we go.
Yeah, now.
So this is on discovery, and as you can see, it's working. You can scroll pretty quick. It will load. And again, on home, same thing. It would work just fine. With the main difference is if you go all the way to the top, it'll need that extra padding basically. This so that it stops here instead of here.
Okay. Oh,
But yeah, other than that,
hmm.
it works fine. Now on chat, on the
Maybe
other hand,
maybe works even better.
I I can't tell here honestly
Yeah.
on my simulator. Like it seems pretty smooth. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, Ismail, just want to note too, your simulator is on iOS 17. So
Oh,
we
yeah, that's a good point.
yeah, we suspect 18 to be causing it as well. On 17.
True.
Yeah, it's a good point. Um, so yeah, I mean we can have a part of the next build to test.
What do you think, Amin?
At least for this until we like I said, Chad, I can look into it more. If there's a full on example, as I've been saying, that would be good reference.
Example of what?
He was saying he saw on their GitHub page like example of how to use it in chat.
Oh,
Like they have an example how to use it in chat. I was following this right here. So if you see over here, it says like chat interface, and
you're
they're
only
saying,
on your emulator.
oh yeah, yeah. Here, let me show more stuff. Saying if you can see here, this is where it says, chat interface without inverted because
Mm.
it doesn't support it. So, and they have a quick example here saying that you have to add these three props, and it would basically help it behave that way. So, something I added, but it didn't give me the desired results necessarily.
Well,
Mm.
that Ismail again, that just like the basic example. If you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
have it running, but with our case, you'll have to dig more to get it to work. Of course, the basic example will not just work for us.
Yeah, yeah, but what I'm saying is that I wasn't looking for it to work like perfectly, but I was looking for that invert behavior. Is it was
Mm.
in particular what I was looking for?
Well, as I said, we have to delete our own inverting stuff because I remember like we have some stuff going on based on the inverted prop,
Mm-hmm.
so we had to delete that
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
So are
probably.
maybe interfering.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, well, yeah, definitely be interested to see this on a device if it solves some of the scroll issues. Um,
And it might not fix them in 18, but it might help make it a little smoother until the next update.
Yeah, and I think it will shine more on like on low end devices where a lot of things going on and you need the scoring to be smooth. Because
yeah,
I think also like the implementation of how they're doing it, they're not doing any like workarounds or anything to get the list working. They're having it with the minimal code they can, and it just work fine. And they prove that they are on the right track. The flash list version 2, they're following like the concept and the principles they do in legend list. Flash list version 2, they're following whatever the legend list is doing in their version 2.
all right.
So
So the updated flash lists are trying to re-architect more simple, more in line with the legend list.
yes, because like
Huh.
the legend list, like the stumbled upon on ways on how to make lists faster
Mm.
without really relying on some heavy stuff and a lot of
Was
complicated.
Flashlist doing that? They were doing workarounds.
Yeah, they were like relying on other components, other like native libraries and all of that, and they were not leveraging React native features. But Legend List, they're doing that, and when you like leveraging the framework you using, things get easier for you, and it works as expected.
Yeah, right. Because there's not as many conditions and dependencies and
Hmm.
layers, I guess. So you said the React Native framework, not necessarily native. Well, because I know React Native is meant to use the native.
Yeah,
So
it meant to use the native. Yeah, and that's how they were Flashless using it. They were like using some native list libraries that they
mm,
were like I'm not gonna say old, but like it's been there, it's proven and it's working. But the legend list, the they made it in a way where they're not relying on the native libraries, more on the like on the React side. Because with the new architecture, they made the React Native. If you want your app to have to be smoother, now we have the tools to. Before it was not. That's why a lot of people tend to use native libraries, even it's a little bit complicated, but it was guaranteed you will be having a good performance. But now with the new changes of React Native, they did the architecture. They give all the tools that you need to make the app feel smoother without really leaning that much to the native side.
The version of React Native we're on.
No, well, we're gonna benefit that from the legend list,
Mhm.
but we will benefit a lot if we upgrade to the latest. But we can't do that. That's a lot of work. Maybe we can do it later.
So the version of React Native we're on, are we getting? Are we?
No, no, it has it. No, no, it has everything we need. Like the legend list will work good and it's gonna perform good.
Did it? Okay. Do you recommend us going with it based on what you're hearing and seeing?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Um, but we got to figure out the inverted thing. But maybe it's just simply removing our inverted code.
Hmm.
Okay. Um, yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the simplified architecture and not having to get too creative with workarounds and things. It sounds like that was probably, I don't want to say doomed, but it was gonna be problematic in the long run if that's what Flashless was trying to do. Um, well, I'm optimistic. I'm also nervous because don't want to go. Certainly don't want to introduce something that has like long term issues that weren't really readily visible for us. But it
Well,
sounds like yeah. Go ahead.
we as everything else we do, like we should move gradually with it. Because
Mhm.
even if it's like working fine for other apps and everything, and they're author, they're maintaining it and everything, like we have to deal with it on our case, per our case, and with that we have to like move to it gradually until it's like we confirm that it's stable for us.
Yeah, for sure. And it also sounds like it's open source, right? Like
It, yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah.
you have and like more simple and elegant, like it's pretty understandable.
Um, I never really looked in their code that deep, but they're open source. Like Flashlights as well, they're open source. I mean, the only difference that I see that's like in favor of Flashless, that is Flashless is maintained by Shopify. Shopify, it's a big
Yeah, they're
uh
huge. They're not going anywhere. Yeah,
yeah, they
they'll
have a lot
be
of
forever.
resources and yeah, they can they can support it like for 2 years, years. As for the legend list, it's just a one guy. I mean, the
One guy.
community on his hmm?
It's really just one guy, not even a team.
No, it's a team, but it's like one guy that starts working on it.
Mm,
But now there's a team, there's the community. But again, even like their team is small compared to the flash list.
yeah,
If they may be running on resources or anything, they may be, hey, we cannot support this anymore. Here is
yeah,
it now for the community if you want to support it. Whereas like with the flash list, I think Shopify they will be supporting it. That's the only thing that I see in the
yeah.
favor of flash.
That makes sense. Okay. Um. Well, maybe you guys could work on it some more, and we can get a build with it and see how it works. But obviously, resolve. Try. We need to resolve the remaining issues. And I mean, you don't see any issues with the Showtime tab slider. You're not worried about any kind of conflicts.
Well, that's one thing that we need to look into because like that legend list, Showtime and Legends list, they will not like the So when the Showtime they were like building it, they were building it with the flash list in mind.
Right.
So they were doing tests and all of that, not legend list. Now there's legend list. We can swap it and do our own implementation as well. It's not because it's just like we need to have some padding going there to have the legend list working with the flash list. And yeah, we can do that and see how it's gonna be
Yeah.
there.
Just one thing, the padding is needed, but I think we also need like from um the index from
Yeah,
Showtime.
the tab. Yeah,
It's-
I wish tab.
So that's where I'm more concerned. Um,
Well, also
y-
like I found like a comment on the Showtime repo, one of issues. One of the authors says they're working on adding the legend list support to the Showtime. I'm not sure about when it's gonna be this and when it's gonna be done, but he just wrote that comment there.
mm,
Mhm.
yeah. Is the Showtime still being maintained? Library?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yeah.
it was
You
like.
you would not see the versions upgrading in like you will not see the version changes in the npm, but GitHub you will see changes like 3 months ago, something like that.
Mm, okay. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, so remember how there's another prop, the index, that basically, I
Hmm.
guess, keeps the tabs alive as you scroll to different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is the one I'm more concerned about because uh, Legend is not going to support that out of the box, and you, and it doesn't accept that prop because it's not part of Legend list. Like Showtime added that prop to Flash list, the index prop in particular.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if you can see the if you open the tab flash list. Let me share my screen.
Mm-hmm.
So you see this, the tab
Mm-hmm.
flash list pops. There's an index. um I, I'm not sure how it's gonna this go there, but we can do this is the tab mason ballet maybe. So we're gonna do legend list, and now you'll be having the index prop here. See,
Mm-hmm.
as this legend list props, not this tab flash list props. And as for the tab flash list, I'm not sure how it's gonna be there. I don't have the library installed, but we're just gonna copy this, change here the flash list with the legend list, and we'll see how it's gonna be. I think it should be working fine. And also, here's the thing: we're not gonna need to do this. We we don't have to do this now. Um, to rely on the inverted to know which whether we're gonna do padding bottom or top.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure which one we're gonna go with. I guess it's gonna be the padding palm. So we're gonna just go like this. We don't have to do it all this condition here. And if you look this is the render scroll component, and it's coming from this one, which is yeah, this is scene component from the Showtime. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what we need to see if it's gonna work or not. Because the scene component is just like a container at the end. Just container with just with
That's one
some
that takes the index, right? That scene component is the one that uses it.
yeah, it's one that's this is the one that uses it, not
Yeah,
actually the this.
correct.
So
Okay.
I
So if
think we
that
should
works, if that scene component works well with Legend List, then
yeah,
we're good to go. But if it doesn't, then
yeah,
that's where he's gonna need some more work.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Interesting. Okay. Well, it's very promising. you know how annoyed I am with ever since iOS 18 and our list scrolling is so janky. Um, so if this is a solution and a more elegant solution, um, that's great. So I'm definitely interested in pursuing it.
Yeah.
So
I can,
There's
like I said, I can spend some more time on it today and see if I can get it to work invertedly and you know see if we can it would accept that prop for the maintaining the content view.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although you can see like the community that's started like asking for the legend list support for the
Mm-hmm.
Showtime. There's this guy that's on this Mars,
Mm-hmm.
and so I'm not sure if there's anything going on there,
Did they
but
respond to him? It
no, they
looks
did not. They did
okay. So
not. But there is this one. This is the author. Like he said, uh, maybe explore flashless, legendless, and flashless as a component. I thought about removing flatless and flashless, but I agree that would be a tough call. So this is the author of this library, the Showtime, one of the authors, and he's also like they having in mind to having the legend list implemented in the Showtime library.
yeah, I mean, it sounded like from that comment right there, he is not sure if they're going to do it.
No, no, no. It was like he's not sure about removing flatless and flashless and
Okay,
having only the legend list that works with the Showtime.
I see.
But I think they will have like all of them, three of them, like flatless, legendless, and flashless.
Okay,
But for sure, it's gonna be the legend list because this guy, he uh he um he contributed a lot to the legend list as well.
okay.
So
Oh, really? This guy here did.
yeah,
Oh, oh. So they're kind of connected.
yeah, it is. He worked on a lot of React Native stuff. What is it like his repo? Um, I
It's
don't know
cool.
what is it, but like yeah, the legend list. If I go to the legend list, there's like
Where's that guy
mm,
located?
not really sure. Maybe he's like in Europe.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know, like where's the legend list? I think this one. This one is in the app. Where's the contributors? I've seen like because I'm following him on Twitter, like he always talk about his findings. This is the author of this legend list, but there's the other guy too. He's not showing in here. That's weird. But I know he's like he worked on the legend list as well,
Okay, that's
and
good.
I guess yeah, and I guess he's based in Frankfurt. Yeah, he's in
Germany. Okay.
Frankfurt.
Okay. Um, interesting. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, let's keep pursuing it. Let's move on though. I mean, I got the build 28. It's got your changes in it, but I was talking with Jerry on the side. I did not allow contacts on my test phone, and then under suggestions, there's nothing there. And Jerry said he doesn't see where the query is being called.
Wait, so do you see the suggestions label, or you don't
Yeah, I
see it?
do. I do see the label and then the button under it, but no suggestion.
Okay. Which
But
screen, onboarding or
yeah, this is onboarding. I'll,
onboarding?
I'll send a screenshot here. See, and
Okay.
and then also this might be for Jerry, but when I type Jerry, isn't it supposed to sort by people that are more connected? Like I type in Todd, I don't see Todd Fiore. Well, I see him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But I
The,
think Todd Fiore has this phone number in his contacts
we don't use a different list when typing. We use the same that you do,
for chat.
yeah, for chat.
Okay. Okay, we'll get back to that. But what do you think is happening? I mean, how come Jerry's not seeing the query being called?
Not sure what's going on there. Let me see.
Now, John,
Also,
complete onboarding and you go to your circle of trust and you edit there. Do you see anything?
um, if I do what?
Finish onboarding and then go to your circle of trust, edit your circle of trust from clicking on the home screen button. Do you see anything there?
I can let you know. Let's
Okay.
see. And you're asking about editing Circle of Trust.
Right, because those are similar screens.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm not really sure why you're not seeing
I am
anything.
seeing suggestions on the edit SOT.
Oh, you are seeing them?
I am, yeah. So
Okay,
that's
on onboarding.
just not an on.
Yeah, I'm not doing like any logic to not show list in here. It should be like all the same in the three screens.
Is it possible, I mean, that sync contacts button is still blocking the results?
No, it's not.
Okay. You sure?
And Jerry, you sure like there's no trace of an API call from John?
No, I don't see it.
And John, you used the John test phone?
Well,
That's right. Yeah.
let me try again now that he says he sees suggestions. I do not see it. I still don't see an API call for some reason. Oh wait, what is this? SOT users. There we go. It just showed up.
What
Who-
was wrong?
Who is this that called it though?
Well, from edit SOT, I did.
Yes. So I see it now for like you just now, but
So, like, if you were to onboard Amine, you're from your emulator there, you're for sure making a call to that query.
Yeah. Let me try that right now.
Okay. This is really a big improvement, though. Like seeing this list of names for editing my circle of trust versus when there used to be 0 names is much better.
and the fact that you're seeing it there, that means the query is being called and it is working.
Right. But just not in onboarding for some reason.
Right.
When I go to the people finder screen, I only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 suggested friends of friends. Does that seem right?
I think
Jared?
so.
Thought there'd be more.
Are they good guesses?
Well, I mean, there's so many more under the edit SOT. I mean, they're not necessarily friends of friends, but
Yeah, what this does is it takes people who have you in their contacts. And the circle of trust kind of expands off of that. It like uses your circle of trust and it expands their contacts and grabs people who have stuff in common, and there's a little bit different logic.
mm-hmm.
That's true. I don't see it.
I'll be right back in just a minute.
Well, this is weird. I don't know what's going on, but like that suggested the SLT user is not being called in onboarding SLT, even though I'm explicitly calling the API. So I'm not sure what's going on there. I'll need to debug this more.
Okay, do you need any assistance debugging that? I mean,
No, just like the React code. Maybe I'm missing something there that I'm not looking into.
mhm. That's weird. It's just in onboarding.
Yeah, just onboarding, and it should be the same code, and it is the same code. It should work on
Right.
both. So I'm not really sure what's going on here with the onboarding. Um, it's weird. The API is not being triggered. That's all. Regardless, I'm explicitly calling it, so I'm not sure what's holding it.
Well, what's really strange is when we were working on this last week, me, you, and Jerry, you had it
Yeah,
working and it was calling it.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not sure what's going on here.
Could something have changed on the back end, maybe?
No, this is all front end code because I'm doing some console logs where it should be in the front end that triggers that console log, and even those console logs are not being triggered. So any
Oh,
code that I'm doing there, it's not being like executed. So I'm not really sure why.
mm,
Um,
okay.
so I'm looking into it to fix it.
Okay, sounds good. Um, looks like Amit has joined us.
Yes, yes, I'm here from last 30 minutes.
Okay, hey Amit. How's it going? Any updates?
Yes, John. So today again I was working on writing just test cases. So today I completed create message V2 and create DM V2. I want to ask Jerry. Jerry, we have some depreciated query and mutation inside chat module. So do we need to write just test cases for that one also, or like we can ignore that one?
For which one?
Like create DM. We have create DM V2 we are using. Na? There is a
Yeah,
create DM also. So we can ignore that one, right?
actually, I want to mark create DM as deprecated. I want to have it start throwing an exception.
Mhm.
Like everybody should use the version newer.
You know, some background noise is coming. Coming from me. Please go on mute.
I muted the menus. Got some
Jerry,
background noise.
Okay. So what I want to do for some of those old mutations for like create DM and
Mhm.
ones that we don't use anymore, I want to mark them as deprecated. And
create message also deprecated.
exactly. I just want them not
Yeah.
to work.
Mm.
I want to start throwing an exception and seeing. Honestly, I just want to see how many people are still in an old app version because we haven't used those versions in a while. Honestly,
Yep. Yes. Last
John,
6 months. Last
yeah,
6 months almost. Yeah.
right. It's been it's like I mean, it's at 6 months at least since we've used these mutations that are now deprecated.
I will tell you exactly.
Can,
9 months. Actually 9 months. 9 months.
yeah, 9 months. So are you okay if we go ahead and deprecate those in the back end? That way it's less code. Like there's less code in the back end to maintain. And really everybody should be on a version that has these new versions. Unless they're on like a year old app version, and we want them updating anyways. Any feedback?
Sorry, I got distracted. Was it a question for me?
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of get your approval or heads up on this. Is that we have mutations that have been replaced in the app, and they've been for probably in production for at least 6 months for now. We don't want like this is more code that we have to maintain.
Hmm.
Since we don't do it anymore, we'd like to deprecate it and just remove it from the code base altogether. And if somebody was on an old version of the app and tried to call that mutation, it wouldn't work.
It wouldn't work currently, or once we deprecate it.
Once we deprecate it,
How old of a version are we talking about?
is that at least 6 months?
That's not very long. So if someone didn't update their app for 6 months,
It would be like so they couldn't create messages in chat.
I see. Hmm.
Because it does become tedious that we have to update code in both places.
Hmm. Okay. Well, I think we need a little more of a plan around it. Like, if someone does attempt to use the chat and they can't, how would they know they need to update?
How about we send them an SMS?
That's what I was going to suggest.
Send them a push notification or an SMS saying you need to update.
Yeah, I
Can't
was
go,
gonna suggest that.
yeah, we can't go back on that old app version, but we can tell them to update.
Okay. I mean, if we do that, yeah,
Okay.
that's going to
So that I can add Jerry, and can I work on that part? Like if I will add push notification there.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I will pick those part.
it's going to be tricky testing that because we have to have somebody who's on an old version and everything.
I could
I
just drop
think
the mutation. We can call the mutation from the playground.
Okay.
Pretty easy.
Okay.
and also like non test pad can we go to the older version? I don't think now after 90 days is expired. No, we cannot go there.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
so I will do that this thing and also I'll continue writing just test cases.
Okay. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thanks on it.
And here situation is not good in India. Currently there is a war is going between India and Pakistan.
Yeah, I heard about that. How close are you to Pakistan?
It's far away from here, like 1,000 kilometers far away. So we are safe here.
That's good. Are they that over Kashmir? Is that the dispute?
For our Kashmir, yes, correct. Due to Kashmir. And currently they did some terrorist attack on India.
I
Happened
heard.
like on 22nd of April, there was a terrorist attack.
Well, and I
So
heard India launched missiles at Pakistan.
correct, correct.
Well, hope everybody calms down.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
everything will be clamped on in 2 to 3 days.
yeah, let's hope so.
Yep.
Nobody wants
Yep,
nukes to
currently.
fly.
Yep, nobody
Both,
wants to exactly
both countries have very powerful weapons.
correctly.
Yeah. So is that why your power is going out?
Yes, yes, yeah. That was power was going on.
Oh boy.
Mm, Completely blackout happened.
The whole country?
For some part of the country, like some part in the India.
Wow, that's crazy. Was it a cyber attack?
Not cyber attack due to they were currently attacking. Before 1 hour, Pakistan were attacking on India, but like India flying radar what weakened, so they dismissed all the attack.
Oh. Well, let's hope they don't keep escalating. There's
Yep,
no win-wins in that.
correct.
Yeah. Okay. Well, stay safe, and
Yep, thanks.
I think we can let you go.
Yes,
I don't.
I'm in
um,
Pune, so we are safe.
That's good. Yeah, you're 1,000 kilometers away. That's pretty far.
Yep.
So that's good. All right. Well, then we'll see you tomorrow.
Yep. Thanks everyone. Have a
Okay.
good day.
Thanks, Alvin. Have a good night. All right. So, Wells, how about we get your update and see where you're at?
Yes, sure. Give me just 5 minutes so I finish screen recording. I think here. Be ready soon. But I think I have some cool stuff to show you.
Excellent. Todd and Shawntelle, how's that Android build working for you guys? There's some specific things to test too, like share cards. I should say the three dots on cards in the feed should be a little different for movies and shows.
Okay.
I'll test this. So
And
far,
play.
just using messages is working fine. I'm not having any issues with that.
That's good. Yeah, and places too. Yeah, the drawer looks great. It's very high end design there that we had sitting on our design board for years, but looks good for sharing a place.
Okay, I think I'm ready to give you my updates.
Okay, sounds good. Let's hear it.
Yep, let me share my screen. So first of all, really cool stuff. Jerry did mention that he noticed that once he did a search, the search was not doing the pagination. So for example, if I go here on entertainment, and if I search, for example, for Harry Potter,
Hmm. Right.
you'll see that I have a couple movies for Harry Potter, but even though we have way more results, we are not bringing them here.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yep. And the same is true for the check-in. So the check-in looked a bit like this. If you see on the screen recording, if I perform a search, for example, for Harry Potter,
Mm-hmm.
it was possible to see more results, but it was on the little scrolly thing there, and I thought, well, for adding a pagination here, it would work. But actually, since in this screen we only showed this, I thought it would be better if we did this. So since I already implemented it in other place, I decided to make of it a component to be used in different places. So now if I do a search here for Harry Potter, for example, you'll see a visualization just like you see on the see all. So you
Oh,
can actually see the results way better on your screen. And
that is
now
good.
we have a scrollable area, so we can actually perform a fetch more and fetch more items.
Wow, nice job, Wells. That's really good.
Were we
Yeah.
missing something on that screen? Um, I thought when you had searched that it also like showed your friends or something.
That's
Yeah, so
true. You can
search
search
for
by
John, it
yeah.
also John's, and that's why they used that side-scrolling list.
hmm Yeah, I thought so, but on all the searches I did here, they would not appear. So I thought perhaps this was only for the search for entertainment.
Might be because this is from the check-in.
Yeah, because I think on this
Yeah.
screen you were searching for things for you to check in,
Right,
and
right.
on the other
Um,
screen you're actually looking through check-ins and other stuff.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
let's
on this
see
screen,
from
I think
here.
there are more results. For example, if I search for John, I think
Yeah.
here we'll have, for example,
Right.
the results, and also for John Worthington.
Yep.
And for here, I think perhaps a solution we could have for having a pagination here would be adding a CL button at the
Hmm.
end. So if I search
Oh,
for Harry
okay.
Potter and want to see more results, perhaps having a CL there does the job.
And then do the grid view again.
Yep. So we don't have
That's
to necessarily
yeah.
change it on this screen.
That's a good idea. Um, yeah, and I guess we hit the X, or I guess those are screen records on the left.
Yeah.
Can you go back to rewind it? The one on the left, or yeah, actually that's fine too. So
For the
if you
version, I
go
mean,
there, hit the X on that.
okay, hit the X in this.
Yeah, so it does say search for friends here too, but it just wasn't working. You're saying,
Yeah, apparently it's not showing any other results for people. For example,
right?
if I search for John, it will not show John there, for example.
Mm-hmm.
It will not show John
I see.
on there.
And I don't know how much people are actually using this feature anyway because it's kind of it's like it's actually not clear, even though it's really valuable, it's probably unexpected that it would even work. I feel like we should promote this feature more. That you can search. This is a great way to search for your friends' recent favorites and check in. Um, I have to take a I have to take a closer look at this and just think about the best way to promote that. But yeah, I think that the grid view's good. The way you have it. So let me think about it a little more. And then the see all making it a grid view would be good. Um, do we
Yeah.
want it to be able to search for your friends, check-ins? I don't know. Have to think about that a little bit. Um,
Yeah, perhaps the CL here is also a solution in case we want to add the the other friends here. It is also an option.
yeah, it is. Um, well, let's go with the what you've got there, and I'll look at it more in the coming days.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And then also I did the sync with Ismail. He presented me the refactor that he's working on and the branch he was working in, and what we are doing, what are the goals, and etc. And some of that stuff is going to be making its way into development. So yeah, as soon as I start working on that, I'll message him and let him know and let him know exactly which part I'm working at, so we can sync on that part. And I also talked with Shawntelle regarding the Amazon API. So she did explain to me what exactly we want to search for and etc. And regarding that, I do have some questions. I did make some progress, but not that much regarding actually searching for the data itself. I did some search comparing the both APIs, and apparently the Amazon API is really good for trending stuff, especially regarding books, since Amazon is a really cool marketplace and etc. But however, would like to know exactly which API do we want to use, and if it is exactly the product advertising API that we want to use for actually fetching the information. I would like to have some help for actually having a key created on the API for like being able to test it. Because for the one I was using here, which is this API, it was a little bit hard of getting the information there because you actually have to be an Amazon associate in order to
Hmm.
use this information and etc. And
Todd might be able to help you get access. Maybe if you send Slack message to Todd and tell him what you're trying to accomplish, because you basically need an account, right? You need
yeah, exactly.
the account. Okay. Let's see.
What is it exactly?
For the Amazon Book API.
Yeah, for the Amazon Book API.
And what does he need?
An API key or an account I could go there to actually use it and search for the data.
Oh, yes. I don't know that I would be the best to get to create that key. It's not something I'm very familiar with. Um, is Jerry familiar with that?
I can be.
You might know better than I would.
Yeah, well, in the end, if we're going to be using an Amazon API, though, I need to implement this in the backend. It's going to be implemented on the app side.
What's the easiest direct route for just a sandbox?
What are we trying to test here?
Will the books that Shawntelle couldn't find for 3 pages show up properly in searches?
I see. Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know if they have a sandbox. Let's see. Let's see.
Before you do that, we may have a different problem there. Todd just shared something into development. Jerry, will you take a look at that real quick?
Why is Danny's profile picture not here?
This is the Play Store version 27, by the way, on my main phone.
Yeah, so it's live in the App Store.
That's been an issue. I thought that was a front end issue that had been. I think that's a front end issue. I've seen that for a while, like in the topic preview cards. I remember we talked about it before too, and it sounded like that was a.
Oh wait, that's true. What is this? This is not John. Perhaps this is John. That's fine.
Yeah, some of those are right. Some are just fine, but the one that I was looking at is not.
What group is this in? What's streaming?
That's right.
Yeah, because it uses the last name. Yeah, the front end was like using the last name for the share card and not the first. I can double check, but I remember this being the front end. Let's see. Righteous gemstone. Let's see. Yeah, it's all correct. Let's see. Righteous gemstones. Yeah, gemstones. Yeah. This is front end.
That couldn't possibly have been an ongoing issue we wouldn't have noticed.
I remember we talked about it before, and it was said it was front end.
Hey, Ismail, will you take a look at the development channel, please?
Because
Okay.
name it's pulling from the last name in the list. Well, I'm sorry. It's pulling from bottom name, which is the first array, but it's not checking to see if that's the share card.
What build is this?
Latest one in the Google Play Store, 27.
There's the one. So showing the wrong profile picture on the
Yeah.
card. That's gonna be a. Let me see what kind of card is that. And that's gonna be a preview card, and it looks like it's an entertainment preview card. One second here.
Because if I went and I responded to it, the image would change to mine. Or no, the name would change to me, not the image. The image is pointing to the right record, but the name is not.
If we're talking about the entertainment preview card, this stuff hasn't been touched in a month now.
This is absolutely on the front end.
So, do you just realize it? Okay. Let
That's
me
what
see.
I don't get. There's just no way that could have been. lurking all this.
Yeah. Okay, let me see here. Give me a second. So, best way to recreate this is to be in a group and to have. Okay, so if I send a message, it will. How do you change the? How do you change the profile picture
So
for the
the,
name?
the profile picture is correct. That should be whoever created the first message in that topic.
Oh, it's the name that's
The
not
name-
correct.
Yes, the name is pulling from a different record.
Okay, let me see. And how? Let me see. So if I just write test here, I actually see my name. Is that how it works?
So are you in QA?
I am.
Send me a message.
To Jerry. Okay.
And let me swap over to you.
Fine. Okay, sent your message.
Okay. Actually, maybe let's make a group for this. So, yeah, go in this test chat, this big test chat. So you see
What chat now?
the big test chat?
It's called Big Test Chat or just called Test?
Yeah, it's called test.
Okay.
So now you see how it says Wellington Almeida?
Yeah.
Now if I go in and I put hi, now when I send hi, go back to the lobby,
Oh,
now the name changes to me.
okay, I see. Oh, because you did it inside the topic itself.
Yep. But the
Okay.
image.
Give me a second here. Let me see. Avatar, sender name. Yeah, it's a sender name. So we're getting that prop as a prop. Let's see. So preview card, and we have sender name is the exact prop. Sender name for preview is again hasn't been touched for 5 months, but let me just make sure this is the correct one. Yeah,
My
that
one
is
is
one.
this is a backend issue.
Yeah, it also hasn't been touched in 5 months, and but then again, this gets it from another prop. So let's keep going, I guess.
Keep looking.
Yeah, let's keep looking. It's still not determined. Let's see here. Let me see the parent component is preview card. So a preview card. Okay, here we are. And then we're gonna have sender name here, and then we're gonna have sender name here, and we're gonna have it one more time. Sender name right here. This hasn't been changed in 4 months, and this is let me see here. I'll just make sure we're on the right track still. Yes, we are. And this gets it from get message with reaction. Okay.
Get message with reaction.
That's the name of the uh no, sorry, let me see. The name of this get method. Yeah, that's the name of the function. Let's see that function itself. The function itself gets its data from message 1, message 2, message 3, and these messages are passed to render topic part. Okay, a lot of. All right, and this is from filter data. Okay, and filter data is going to be. Let's get started. Filter data got changed. So filter data would have sender name, and was that. So that hasn't been touched in 11 months. And we have sender name here, which hasn't been touched in 10 months. Yeah, let me see here. want to see what that error is. Let me see here real quick. Give me a second. I'm gonna move this and just hard code it. Yeah, perfect. So it's getting it from item dot sender user key, current user key, item dot sender dot name. And that logic has been the same for 10 months now.
But where is the profile image coming from?
Uh, so are you sure it's front end, Jerry?
I'm really confident here.
Okay, let me think. Because I'm going back to the root, and it seems like it's getting it from item. And let me see where item comes from messages.data. And messages is let me see. Messages is get all messages. So this is from the back end. That's the name of the sender. Okay, so for me not to go crazy, let me go and look at the backend response data because it's looking like backend to me. I don't want to like all this code hasn't been touched in a while, and I followed it to a source, and it's looking like it's coming from the backend. But let me just do one more thing to see if I'm mistaken here.
Now I don't give a prop for who the message. I mean the topic.
Yeah, the correct, but what we're getting it from sender, and then that sender object, and then that sender has a name.
So it comes from sender.
You know what this could be from?
What's up?
This could be from that change we made where we only return 3 objects. For
I still don't think that's it.
Okay. Well, here, give me a second then. Let me see.
And I can share this tab with you as well.
Can you revert that change real quick? Would it be easy? Do you have like that code saved to revert that? Because it's on a database level, right?
Yeah, let me revert it.
Yeah. Because I think it gets it from the first object, so it could be tripping out there because it doesn't have access to that first object anymore.
Let's see. But also, I know you're getting it from the first object, but don't forget that chat is reversed. So,
Well, the thing is, this logic has been here for, like I said, 11 plus months. So we had everything considered when we did this, and it's been working. So
okay, so I'm gonna undo it. It is. Oh yeah, let me undo it in QA too.
Oh yeah, it's QA.
No change.
Did you undo it?
I did it. Yeah.
Chat is not loading for me at the moment. Oh, there it is. It was just slow.
Slow.
No, I just because I'm messing with that new list.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And Jerry, you deployed your changes to prod, right? The for chat.
Correct.
It's looking pretty quick. I mean, everything's
It's still doing it, weirdly enough. Okay.
Yeah, I know we talked about this before, maybe a month or so ago.
So when it goes to item, it goes to sender, and the sender, you are the sender of that specific message. So it will have your name.
Why does it
But
the profile?
but wait a second. That still doesn't make sense. This was working. So you're saying right now, if we go to any one of these, uh, it will show all topic messages inside. Hmm. Hmm. There's something off. Okay. Like, could we have not noticed this until now? Because the front end has not changed in a few
There's
months.
no way. There's no
No,
way.
a month or so ago.
There's no way this has been ongoing.
Can we check in old builds? Does anybody have an old build? Or can you just go? Well, a quick way to check is I can go back a few builds and see if this happens. So, let me see. What's the quickest way to find a queue? Or so in prod, where is this happening in prod? Am I in that group?
What
This is
streaming?
yeah, what streaming
What's
chat?
streaming?
1.95 and it still does it.
No. 95 and it still does it?
Yeah.
What's 95?
1.95.
1.95.
1.95.
So that's 2.1.95. Okay, that's like way back.
Yeah, that's still doing it.
So
But
that
that tells
means
me back end.
I don't think it's the back end. There's nothing I can.
that's either two things. It's either the back end or it's nobody noticed it until now. I don't know.
No way we didn't notice it. No
about
way.
it. Talked about it a month ago. I'm looking here. There's nothing I can change on the back end to make this work.
And
No,
yeah, front end
there's-
obviously is
there's-
unchanged.
Well, okay.
But I
Okay.
think looking at the front end code, I see how it could be problematic. To be honest, I see
Okay,
that
well,
we're using the sender instead of where we have a what's it called? We have a creator. Or we have a topic object that we can use for that. So I
Well,
see how on the front end
share this.
it
Did
can't
Danny
be wrong.
share it? Did Danny share it or did this Sky person share it?
Sky shared it.
Okay.
Yeah, the creator is correct, Ismail.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The creator, like, I see how what I'm saying is I see how it can be a problem on the front end side. But what's crazy to me is this has been around for almost a year now.
So that sounds implausible.
I mean, I'm looking at the code. If Jerry did not send or change anything on the back end related to this code, then it's been here for 12 plus months.
Then it only happens once in a million different shares.
No, it looks like it's very easy to recreate.
It doesn't sound right. I mean, I've shared many things. I've never seen the wrong name on it. And
Well, you have to have the card still present. That's key.
I
what
have
do you mean?
seen this before, by the way. I've marked it in here a couple of times, and it's gotten fixed before, and it looks like it's coming back for you.
I think
I've not seen it in newer versions, but
I think you reported it for a different card. Like you reported maybe for the main card, not for a preview card. Maybe it just never got fixed for a preview card. Let me see in the main card if it's fixed.
Yeah, is the main card accurate?
If we go to entertainment,
Yeah, inside the topic, it's correct.
yeah, I feel like it was in the
Sender.
preview. I can check.
name.
I can like search in the development channel, but I'm pretty sure it was in preview. And it was also another one that said Danny. Pretty sure of that.
Maybe it's only what happened to Danny.
We just reproduced it with me.
No, I was joking. But
Let me see here.
I don't understand why I don't see it with all the other shares that I've seen.
That avatar URL, and then no, it looks like in the other cards it's still using the old logic as well. Like it's using the wrong logic too. Unless, give me a second here before I let me look at the topic card and look at the sender name here. Sender name, prop that sender.
Now, sender would be correct. It should be creator.
Sender name, yeah, sender name. Yeah, it looks like the other cards are using the same old logic. The wrong logic, I should say.
Well, it's fine for those.
But it is working, which is weird.
It's fine for the main card, Ismail, like inside the topic, because if it takes from that message creator, the person who created that message, it will always.
It's not taken from creator. That's what I'm saying. It's taken from sender
Well,
name.
Yeah, sender. If it uses sender in the main thread, I see where that would be correct because it uses it's on that message level. But you're using the first message and then you're taking sender on the preview card. First message would be the most recent message, which is why it's showing as Danny and me in that case, and you're mapping that to the name. But the image, you're using the creator.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see now. Yeah, preview topic card. So I think if I can fix it in one place, I should fix it for all the cards here. This one's right, this one's right. This one, the sender has to be topic. Topic, and the topic would have a creator, and that would basically have a I would have a name, and let's do that now. So let's go back to our chat with inside test, right? Yeah, now it's working. Sorry for the slip, but
Aha. That's right.
yeah. That
Got
being
a
said,
screenshot.
what's that?
I got a screenshot of it from March 3rd.
Oh, yeah.
It's in
So-
Trello.
I guess it's always been a bug. We caught it but never fixed it, or it just got pushed back and forgotten about.
But it must obviously doesn't happen every time someone shares something.
Well, it happens if you share a card and somebody sends you a text within the first three, or he has to be the last person. So think about it this way: if there's a card showing and the third person is not you,
Yeah.
it will happen. Like if the third message is not you in that bubble, so you know how
Okay.
you have three messages under the bubble, like
Yeah.
within the bubble. If that last one is not you, it will happen. If it is you, it will just show your name.
All right. So you fixed it.
Yeah, the fix is now in, and but it's been a bug for
Okay.
4+ months.
We need to shift to more problems. We might need Amine too. It's in development. Continued issues in development channel here. Amine, did you solve the onboarding thing yet?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Can you help us out on the what's in development channel? Because I think you're the last one who worked on some of this. If you notice here, let's start with where Shawntelle said, I already had a group chat with Emmy and Michelle. I favorited something and chose to share it with both of them as a group chat. It added them again to the already established chat. Now it shows Emmy 3 times and Michelle 2 times. So
the display is something that I need to look at. I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, okay. It's not front end.
Like the group name, I'm working.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Hold on, I can
Okay,
keep-
what about underneath that where Todd said something strange going on here? 3 people in the group.
Same thing.
Okay. All this then you're looking at all of it?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's
All right.
all going to be fixed with the same fix.
Okay, cool. Okay, so then I mean you finished the onboarding thing. So the suggestion should show up.
Yep.
Okay. But we'll need a build, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But currently, I'm looking into the issue that I remember with the notification that should join your group.
Yeah.
You press on it.